Hello, my name is Tanya Mosby, and this is my leading video. This leading video shows me presenting a professional development to classroom teachers and faculty regarding the vertical articulation of the TEKS. The vertical articulation of Texas essential knowledge and skills, better known as the TEKS. This is an area that is critical to providing immediate intervention to our students. The better we are at addressing the TEKS, the more effective the learning will be, and the more understanding that will be gathered from our students. If we as teachers are knowledgeable about the current student expectations and the ones that the students will be presented with in the future, this will allow us as teachers to purposely plan our instruction based on the current expectations as well as the future expectations. This session includes the teacher and faculty interaction as we all engage in the learning process. I address the alignment of the TEKS ranging from grades kindergarten through 6th grade. I do teach in an elementary school. We do start at pre-K and end at 5th grade. 6th grade is included because it's very pertinent for 5th grade, our 5th grade teachers to be able to prepare our outgoing 5th graders for middle school, 6th grade. So the teachers were provided with a tool to use in order to record their data. A brief overview of the essential concepts was included in order to set the expectations of the learning experience. I was able to kind of gauge where some of the teachers were as far as the vertical alignment process was concerned. And the majority of our teachers were already familiar. There was some inconsistencies of what some thought, and this was shared mostly between our mainly between our new teachers. Some of the expectations that were presented with questions. The first one: what specific skill or skills are required in the current grade level? The second question: what rigor is added to the concurrent grades? And this is an area where it is necessary to identify the verbs and determine the strategies that will be used to address that specific skill. The third question: what developmental activities are used for problem solving? And last but not least, what questions are used to guide student thinking? Now, the focus area addressed the learning differences that depends on, regardless of the tiers 1, 2, or 3, the multicultural awareness, and the ethnic appreciation, which addresses our the various cultures that we have. And as teachers, we need to be sensitive to all of those areas. All areas are explained explicitly in detail. Now, as I stated earlier, we started at pre-K, citing the verbs and how each expectation spiraled into the next grade level regarding that same specific TEK. There was time built in this video to show the actual teacher collaboration and the feedback, which is essential to instructional growth. And I did witness a lot of authentic learning shared by the teachers. This was a very valuable experience. Now, as far as my feelings with this video, I had mixed emotions because initially I was going to use a new technology. It's a swivel technology, and it was shared by one of our district representatives who came to my classroom to present. She used the technology, and I was impressed with it and decided that I was going to use it for my video. There was one small problem. I had practiced with the equipment, and everything had gone well, except for when it was time for me to actually present. And that's when we I began to experience some technical difficulties. I did initially. I was a bit frustrated, but I had to keep the thought process straight because I always share with my students, if Plan A doesn't work, you always have a Plan B. So I did have a Plan B, and I was able to actively engage my Plan B, which was to just use my iPad. So I had to solicit a fellow coworker to be my videographer. She graciously accepted, and the show went on. Now, I felt as though the presentation did go well. There was, as I explained, there was a lot of authentic learning amongst the teacher, and I learned a few items as well, just being able to ask the teachers questions and then engage with providing feedback. As far as the evaluation portion, again, I feel like the production and the content of the video went well. The training was very positive because it encouraged our teachers as well as our veteran teachers to perform a deliberate analysis on the TEKS, and it showed them how to effectively address the instruction that the current TEK had, and then learn also how to spiral that additional instruction in by focusing on the verbs in order to be for the successive grades. And that was a real challenge and eye-opener for the faculty. There was a lot of questions and answers that were provided that created a very successful learning experience. This instruction was included to cover the ESL teachers, LEP, SPED, inclusion, and pull-out, and as well as, of course, the general education teachers and students. The material was very effective, and it provided multiple opportunities for the teacher interaction through various levels of activities ranging from the verbal. That included, we had exercises for the teachers to actually read the TEK and then point out the verbs, and then we had the hands-on where they were able to actually go in. We provided paper and necessary tools for them to be able to dissect the TEK, right? What the expectation was, and then how the expectation was going to be addressed. This was very, very powerful because this allowed the teachers to actually get hands-on experience as far as effectively addressing the TEK or the TEKs that they were responsible for. As far as the analysis part of the reflection, the presentation couldn't have gone any better because instead of the information already being presented, as I had originally planned, I created a flip chart using my Promethean Active Inspire, but then I decided that, you know what, it would be more beneficial in order for us to work through it together. So that's exactly what we did. So I had the teachers define the knowledge and skill student expectations as an interactive activity, and it was quite effective. I thought this piece was very represented a very good model of authentic learning for the teachers, and it also allowed the teachers to be able to really focus on the information presented. They were able to ask questions where immediate feedback was available. I believe that immediate feedback is a necessity for our teachers, just as we expect it for our students. Oftentimes, I know I've also had questions about instruction, and I've just had to write it down and try to remember it and remember to ask someone about it later. So the teachers were extremely receptive to this type of instruction and to the immediate feedback. As far as what I could have done better, as far as in conclusion, there was definitely our first tool, and basically I already had this populated, and for whatever reason, I guess I did not save it appropriately. So we're just going to go and we're going to work through it together, and then you all will have a chance to go through and choose one that you would like to do, and we'll go with it. So on this particular example, this is tool one, this is the verbal articulation of the tics, and this is something that is in our CIP plan, something that we got together and decided that we were going to do at the beginning of the year. And this tool is not necessarily going to be used by us individually, but our data analysts and our instructional specialists may be able to use this if we have when Ms. Grant reviews her data, and then we need to have a collaborative meeting to address specific needs in each particular SE. So we're going to go from grades K through 6th grade. And basically, when we're looking at grade level K, if you all will look, you have your knowledge and skills, your sub-packet. You have the packets. Basically, this is the TEKS, and we're going to go through and look at each one of them and look at the different, the verbiage and the way that it changes from the expectation for each one. So, she's going to give it to you. Oh, I'm finished. When you get that, go ahead and turn to page, the third page is 45, and we're going to look at the 10B because we're supporting main idea, and I'll just populate it as we go. And what we want to keep in mind is when we're teaching these skills, we want to make sure that when we're unpacking the skills that we address each area and make sure that it is relative, because a lot of times I believe where the disconnect is where our students, they're given a specific skill to learn, but they don't really get why they're learning it. Therefore, there's no relativity. And when there's no relativity, it does not stick. So that's what our job is going to be, is to find meaningful ways where we can allow them to learn it and where it's meaningful for them. And as Ms. Grant and Ms. Gailey have already stated, the introduction, this is reading, so the introduction is the same. So we're not going to have to populate any of this. And as I said, we're dealing with main idea. We're looking at SE, the student expectation for the way it's going to look in kindergarten is on 10B. If you will look at that, it's on page 4 of 45. And basically, it says to retell important facts in a text heard or read. So pre-K, K, when you're reading those big books, and basically it's just a going back and recapping. What did you hear? What did you witness in the story? And well, at the beginning, this happened. At the middle, this happened. At the end, this happened. And we got 10B. Now let's go ahead and move to first grade to see what that's going to look like. Can somebody tell me what student expectation you'll see that would follow with main idea?
So use your highlighters so you can go back and compare and contrast. Use your highlighters for 10. Look at your knowledge and skills. What was that talking about? And then highlight your student expectation.
That's your underlying piece. Anybody get a 1.14A? Y'all see that up under your knowledge and skills? That's on page 8 of 45. I'm sorry, 11 of 45. 11 of 45. Okay.
highlight up at the
Strand is
bottom.
the reading, and then the comprehension of informational text is expository text.
It's 10, reading comprehension of literary text, literary nonfiction. Students understand, make inferences, draw conclusions. It's 14.
Yes, the 14, which would be 1.14A. And do we see how the verbiage changed? We went from retelling and now we are restating. Same thing, but it's just different verbiage, different extensions. So we're restating. On this one, we're going to identify. So we're identifying the main idea.
choose one SE. Choose one. We're giving you a range. We're giving you a range of what to choose. So you can choose K3.A or you can choose K3.AB. It's up to you. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's yours. It's make a choice. Whatever you think is more important. So you are scaffolding from kinder to fifth.
Some of theirs only go to second grade, so they can.
So whole numbers, so like for us it's like with decimals.
It's the same. The sentence strips are big so that you have when you finish writing it on your individual sheet is for you. The big sheet is for presentation. That's all. Hey guys, we're only doing the first one.
I'm doing 4A.
You only go up to 1,000 and we like all the way to 4 and then all the way to 16.
So for 13, we chose 13A. And then first grade, A. So that's what you guys work. So we were going to local this. Maybe I'm 13A. Yes, I am. Our case 13A. Ideas for writing. So basically, we found a page. I'm going to write her own page. They could drawing, I'm sharing.
While y'all are doing it, you can underline those words and see if you notice the difference in the grade level.
Also, look at your primary focal areas, which is probably 4. You want to look at that. There's some differences from grade level to grade level. Remember, only reading is generic. Everybody else's, it changes. So that's important.
First and second, yeah, they.
Go back and look at the introduction, and it's something that changed. You can know those words.
Just food for thought, we were over here discussing, make sure you all put this information into your data binder so you can have ready access to it.
They still like the third grade.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot of information. But it's good information. Yeah, good information. So you know where to go for it.
First grade speakers.
Miss Lazar, you ready for it? Are you starting your voice
They're looking at genre and they're looking at audience. Well, but they're also, they have to convey a meaning.
You're not even on here.
You know what I mean? Like they have to decide which is what else is inspired instead of instead of just.
That's what I'm saying.
It was they were people, yeah, and you're also range is this use a range of strategies. So all these new strategies that building graphical
You look like you're really enjoying it. How much more time do you all need? We have some people already talking about lunch, but. Show up hands, who needs about 2 more minutes? Well, y'all are really engaged.
We'll get it on back in.
Okay.
Oh, there's some over there.
The thousands and downs, we just added decimals.
Okay, so I'm right.
Because I mean, it doesn't say 1 and 2 step in here, but we had to do 1 and 2 step.
Because I know we did it at grade level. Okay, so all I'm writing is just this, right?
This makes it seem like you're just taking numbers and adding them.
Do you guys need your glue sheet?
We're supposed to move these things.
You got kindergarten first here.
Kindergarten.
Kinder all the way up.
Well, we start kindergarten at the bottom.
Okay, let's start wrapping it up. We're gonna, demonstrate what your learnings, on your chart paper. Every group should have had a sheet of chart paper, and you're going to post your sentence strips on there.
Just the ones that we got through.
Yes, the completed ones, yes.
And if you've done K through 3 and you haven't got to 4th and 5th, then it's okay. Because in our training, we didn't get there either.
It'll be homework.
All right, so if you need glue sticks, we can provide those for you.
To glue your strip on
You
your
guys have
paper.
strips? You guys don't have strips?
We need to write this on the street.
Yes. We need y'all to get GT back there.
They can use that tape. That's tape is fine too.
Okay, you got it.
Right.
I just saw the word include here. So if you say A, B, C, D, which one of it will apply, you can see which one applies more. Oh, here's the 2. You write so nicely.
All right. Now,
This is writing it. She's 3 too. Yeah, see?
You're doing both of the 2 points. Okay.
Teamwork. Sure they want it? I finish all 6.
primary focus areas in kindergarten. It says our understanding
Look, with a little bit of with the little bit.
No, we haven't got that. Oh, okay. I'm doing 4 and I need to.
Well, no, you said another 50. I'm like, oh, well, let's say another 40. Okay. Can we do this 65?
Okay, we're gonna start, getting ready to close out, just a quick final, formative assessment, we're gonna do the, 55. 0 closed means that there is no understanding. 1 is a little bit of understanding. And then it goes up to 2, you understand a little bit more. 5 is like you totally understand. 3 is halfway there. So can we do 1, 2, 3? Fingers up. So we have some 4s. Okay, then all hands down. Let me just see 0 to 2.
Okay, in the bag.
Okay,
Y'all come back.
just to see what we might need to do for the next go round.
We will.
Okay. Well, thank you all very much.
All right.
Let's get